Okay, welcome everybody. We'd like to welcome Austin Eckroat to the interview room here at the 2025 Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Obviously come back to defend your title. I guess the first question is, what was it like walking on site this week?
Yeah, it's really special. The closest memory I have to this would be whenever we won the national championship in 2018 and then going back out to Carson Creek the following year, going back to school and just taking it all in and trying to relive those moments. It's pretty special. And, that's really my only similar experience since high school, because my 2 wins in college, I never got to go back to the course that I won at. And it's just cool. I mean, it's really special.
What, I guess you probably got a lot of good memories about the week last year, but when you recall the week, what sort of stands out to you from last year?
Yeah, I think I've learned that, especially on this golf course, for me, it just kind of the importance of how well I hit the driver last year really set me up for a week of success. And obviously trying to do the same thing this year, and it's easier said than done. But just like you said, just looking back on some of the shots I hit, and I've been lucky enough. I got some good advice when I was a kid or in college, that if there's a shot that you really like, or make the putt to win, never watch it. You only want to see it from your eye, not from the TV's perspective, because once you watch it, you'll forget what you saw. And I did a pretty good job of that this year. I didn't watch the final round or anything, so it's like I said, I have it from my point of view, and I'm really happy about that.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah.
We'll take some questions. If you have any questions, just raise your hand. We'll get your mic, and we'll start with Tom in the front.
Hey, Austin, Tom D'Angelo.
How you doing?
When we spoke, you mentioned you were looking forward to coming in and just seeing your image.
Yeah.
On the. Did you get to see those coming in on the banners?
Yeah.
And when you got here, did the kind of memories just flood back?
Yeah, like I was saying, just the walking in, it's yeah, I did see a couple posters. Like I said, it's cool to come out to an event and you're being recognized and but then whenever I walked on property, I was just doing an interview upstairs, and I could see the 18th green. I haven't been out on the golf course yet, but like the memory of me sitting there on the 18th green doing a little post-round interview and then walking up and just feeling relief, it was just such a cool moment to look back on. And I'm sure there's going to be tons throughout this week whenever I'm, especially on the back nine, and just remembering the shots I hit and really taking in the stress I was feeling, but then the relief towards the end. It's just I'm really looking forward to it.
Go over to this side, and we'll come back to you, Tim.
Okay.
I remember last year, I think you had mentioned that you really felt coming in that this course kind of suited your game. I know you play, a lot of venues, but are there specific holes, specific things, strategies that you remember out here that, that was really successful for you, that you're looking forward to, taking advantage of again or experiencing?
Yeah, I mean, when I think of this golf course, like I said, in my opinion, it suits me very well. And I think I'm able to hit driver where guys can't, just because I feel like I'm very accurate and stuff like that. I think of hole 6 out here. You see a lot of guys bail out right and just try to grind for their par. If they make bogey, no big deal. And I think I made a couple birdies on 6 last year just because I felt confident that I could hit the fairway, take on an aggressive line, and then I'm able to attack from that spot. And I think there's parts of this golf course throughout where I think that's something that suits my game. Especially the way I was hitting it last year was the confidence I was to hit the fairway, so I was able to attack. And I hoping to do the same thing this year. And but yeah, that's probably the main piece.
We'll come to Tim and then Brentley right on.
Hey, Austin, Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press. We know the obvious big stuff that comes with your first win, the signature events. You got into Augusta, job security, all those wonderful things. What else came with it? What, if anything, changed in real terms for you?
I think probably outside of the job security, the biggest thing for me was the ability to take risks earlier in the week at future events. Especially my first year, I was got off to a slow start, and making the cut was such an importance. Getting those points, trying to retain my card for the following season. With the job security, the biggest thing for me has been, I feel like on Friday afternoon, if I'm near the lead, I can take on more risks. I don't have to worry so much about making the cut. I can try to win this golf tournament. rather than just finishing well. And I think that's something that's kind of interesting on the PGA Tour is you've got if two guys are battling out for the win, maybe one of those guys, that second place means everything to him, and the other guys, it's win or bust. There's nothing else. And I feel like at that, with having now 2 wins under my belt, if I'm coming down the stretch trying to battle for a win, in my opinion, it's win or bust now. And I think that's something that isn't really that well known as a spectator.
Brindley,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So by risks, playing more aggressive, things
Yeah.
like that. How would you characterize your season so far? I mean, you've had 2 top 15s in the right events,
Yeah.
right? And then some missed cuts. But how would you characterize how you've played so far this year?
Yeah, it's been interesting start to the year. FedEx-wise, it's my best start to the season. But I've had better starts where I feel like my game's in a better position. But it's been honestly a weird start. I've felt very confident at times, and then I felt like I have to rebuild my whole golf game at times. But it's golf's a funny sport. But in all honesty, I think everything's close. I think it's there. It's just putting all the pieces together. And I think honestly, going home last week was huge for me. I was able to, kind of settle myself and realize that I wasn't struggling. It was just some, mistimed bad shots and stuff like that. So.
And did you do anything putting-wise? Because I think you're probably, at least statistically, putting the best you have since you've been on tour. Did you make any changes putting-wise, equipment setup, things like that in the off-season?
Yeah, I honestly, towards the end of the last season, I think I was putting it really well, more so than at the beginning of the year. I made some adjustments towards that time of the year, and I've been continuing to do the same things. And I always switch putters. That's just what I do. I have about probably 15 putters at home that I will just go into my, I have a little bedroom that has a little golf setup, and I'll walk in there and, this putter looks good. I'll try this one out, and that's kind of how I look at putting. And so I think this week is my 3rd putter of the season. So.
Where's the putter that you won this with?
It is the one I'm using this week.
Okay.
It was my wife's advice. She said you should use that one. So.
And did you use that one in Cabo too, or?
No, I used
Okay.
a similar but a PLD version.
Okay.
But basically the same putter. Yeah.
Anything further for Austin? I would just ask you, you mentioned the 2 victories, validating this one with the one in Cabo. How did those victories compare? Is it? It's hard to compare children if you have children, but this one finished on a Monday. That one,
Yeah.
how was it different?
They were very different. This one, remember, I was coming down the stretch. I was so stressed. I wanted to win the golf tournament so bad. There were so many things that came with it. And honestly, all I felt after the round was relief. It was just relief. And I'd finally done it. This is, there's so much to it. And then I drove straight to Orlando. I mean, I had a beer, I think, and then went to Orlando. And then at the Worldwide Technology in Mexico, I was coming from behind. I had a great Sunday, and I know the Worldwide Technology guys very well. So it was, after the round, it was much more of a celebration, a party. It was more just fun, rather than this one was just relief. And 2 totally different reactions to a win. It was pretty funny.
We'll take one from Keith.
I'm curious, what is it about your game that could have you win here at very much of like a ball striker's reward course, and then in a total birdie fest out there in Cabo?
Yeah.
I mean, those are 2 very, very different wins, and sure, very validating for you, but
Right.
What's the common thread there in your characteristics?
Yeah, I always joke that there's golf courses out here that suit certain players' games, but you either have it or you don't have it that week. It doesn't, obviously there's courses that are an advantage just towards someone, but I think you look back at last week at Vedanta, and you've got probably the shortest hitter on the PGA Tour and the longest hitter on the PGA Tour battling it out on Sunday, going into a playoff on a golf course that's suited for a bomber. And that golf course is probably the worst golf course on tour for Brian Campbell, and he ends up winning the golf tournament. It's just, you never know. That's, in my opinion, it's just you're either going to have it or you're not. And golf's a funny game. You never know.
Tim, go ahead.
Just curious, how did you process Augusta last year?
So last year with Augusta, my game was not in a good spot going into it, so I was very, I would say not on edge, but I was anxious about playing Augusta. And I think I had some issues in the golf swing that I was managing that weren't coming out whenever I was playing in other tournaments. But then I get there, all the emotions and everything, and I was a little exposed, honestly. And as a first timer, I think it's honestly like I don't know if it's a little bit of a hazing thing, but you don't know anything until you get there, and the yardage book sucks. There's just so many things that you have to figure out through experience. And I think going into this year, having been there before, there'll be a comfort level. I'll have some prior knowledge, and I won so late. I won this event last year. I didn't have much time to go out there and do those practice rounds, and so it just happened quickly, and my game was just not ready for Augusta National, and the weather made it much more difficult on top of that.
Now that you've been there once, what do you look forward to when you get back?
Yeah, exactly. I really look forward to getting another chance at the Beast. I mean, I honestly was it was a funny week. I was embarrassed, honestly, with everything that went on, and played poorly. It was a weird feeling. I had high expectations, and I did not want to play Saturday. I was watching the cut line fall, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm about to make this ut. I'm gonna go shoot 80 tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to having a good game going into Augusta National and getting another chance at it.
All right. Anything else? Everybody good? Austin, we appreciate it, and good luck this week.
Thanks so much. Yeah.